everyone, welcome back to the Fantasy Forge Cast, Session 1. My name is Brad, joining me is Andrew.
Hey guys.
Today we're going to be talking about Pantheon, the game that we're really excited about. So we can go ahead and dive into it, and we'll start with, what are we looking for in Pantheon?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is the challenge and social aspects. They're bringing those back from the old glory days of MMOs, back, in EverQuest and all the classics where you had to group up with other people in order to advance because the game content was so challenging. You couldn't just go off on your own and do your own thing like you can nowadays. I know, so that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. Even as someone who really hasn't touched EverQuest that much or any of the older MMOs, I still want that. I still feel like challenge is important in MMOs, and something that's sorely lacking.
Yeah, I mean, I started on Vanilla WoW, and I know the challenge in Pantheon and the challenge in EverQuest is a totally different league. And the nice thing about the challenge is that it really ties into the social aspects. Mm-hmm. I mean, since the challenge is so hard, you are almost forced, if not forced, to group up with other people. So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to in Pantheon, is just to get that breath of fresh air.
Right. And it's not going to be an exact clone of EverQuest. They're putting their own spice to it. Visionary Realms is. They have some new things in there like the perception system and the acclamation system. I know they're going to have more advanced AI. That's something they talked about.
Yeah, each AI is going to have kind of like there's three things that I think they released so far, which is one of the AI like rule sets is that they'll see you and then they'll go and fetch their friends.
Yeah.
Or they'll go take cover and attack you, or just be really aggressive.
They'll be very reactive to the situation. Just kind of like how the players are.
Yeah.
And so you'll end up having different outcomes depending on the enemy and the group you have, and it's like if you have more casters, they'll respond to that more, or if you have more healers, they'll do something to interrupt that.
Oh, that's super cool. That's gonna bring a whole new dynamic to combat just in and of itself. I think the AI in pretty much every role-playing game has been stagnant. I mean, you really haven't seen anything new with it. I mean, even something like this isn't like amazing. It's not like brand new, but it's a really nice twist that they're throwing onto it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just tired of playing the same old game where there's just a group of enemies standing around not doing anything, and you just go up, attack them, and kill them. All they have is like a basic auto attack or some basic spell that they cast, and there's no depth to it.
Yeah, it's pretty generic. I know they're gonna have the really like challenging mobs, like I guess you would call them elites or whatever. Those are gonna be actually wandering around in the world, and so that also adds another challenge to the environment, because now you have to all of a sudden be looking around 360 degrees around you to make sure that this really hardcore badass boss guy isn't just sneaking up on you from behind you.
Right, exactly. You gotta be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Yeah. So the environment is something that is, they even said that they're not making an MMO, they're making a world, and we're all just kind of experiencing it, and that's what I'm really excited about. I mean, touching just a little bit on the perception system. How that works is you are exploring, and then someone runs up to you and they have a dialogue, and you can like accept it or not. And that's another thing that's bringing the environment to just a whole nother level.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something that's completely optional. Like, you don't even have to do it. If you're the type of player that just wants to grind and just farm mobs, you can do that. Perception just kind of adds more flavor, and really unlocks all kinds of different things. I actually don't know why you want to do
Yeah, I don't know why either. You become a keeper once you do progress in it more, and then you unlock some more things. And we'll touch about we'll get into the nitty gritty of that stuff in a later episode. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that that's just one of the many things that they're adding to the environment and to the world that is really making it feel organic.
Definitely. Probably the one more thing to add would probably be the community. That's something I'm looking forward to. I know the community is very responsive and helpful.
Very passionate.
Yeah, very passionate. I've seen a lot of people already coming together online, just planning to play, looking for people to join them,
Yeah.
And definitely a good sign. Community is very important, especially, if you have something like a toxic community, that's just going to push people away.
Do you think this game will have its fair share of toxic players?
I'm not really. It depends. Maybe not at first, but because of the challenge, that could create some people who, don't want noobs coming around and joining them, or people will be asking for help later down the road, and they'll be like, dude, you just figure it out yourself.
Yeah, elitists.
And not willing to help. I mean, you'll probably have that with any game, really. But.
Yeah, I think that's actually interesting that you said that. I think this game will definitely have its fair share of elitists just because of how niche it is and stuff. But they do have systems in place to help lower levels and to help people out, like a mentoring system.
Yeah, they have the mentor system, which is an incentive for the higher level people to help, lobies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll see too much toxicity going on.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And also, this game, what's really nice about this game is that you have a reputation to uphold. I mean, you make your own reputation. And if you have a bad rep, then nobody's going to want to group up with you. No one's going to want to play with you. And then it's going to be really, really hard for you to progress.
Exactly.
Probably impossible.
Yep, it's all about reputation.
Yeah, so that's another thing about the community that we could add in there. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. I mean, and we're talking about community. How do you think this game will draw in new players? I mean, people that play Legion right now. I mean, are they going to even care about it?
I think initially, I mean, it's something new, even if it does promote like old school mechanics and all that stuff. I mean, it'll be a new game and people will jump on it just to see what it's about. And I think it's great that Visionary Realms is going to make it so you can play up to, I believe, level 10 for free.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So it's like a trial. They're putting out a trial right from the get-go, which I think is fantastic. It gets the game into more people's hands. Let them kind of test drive it, to see if it's right for them. But as far as new players go, yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of newbies coming along.
I can see. I think the majority of people that come along will be newbies, not people that are EQ vets.
Yeah.
Or Dark Age of Camelot vets. I think it'll be a lot of vanilla WoW players. I mean, vanilla WoW players, there's a lot of them,
Yeah. But how many of those were from EverQuest?
Yeah, that's true. Probably, yeah.
I think there'll be a good chunk of EverQuest players.
There'll definitely be a good chunk. I still think that it will be majority of newer players.
Yeah, people who maybe like us never really got a chance to play it back in the prime.
Yeah.
And want that kind of experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I think they're doing a great job. Like you said, the trial system seems like a really good idea, but they have to make it really gripping. Those first 10 levels have to be really gripping. If it's really slow, methodical, I don't know if people, I mean, I've already seen people complain about meditating during combat, like casters just sitting there not doing anything in combat. They're like, oh, that looks really boring.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that a lot too, about the combat looking boring. Honestly, from someone like me who's played more fast-paced MMOs, like looking at this kind of game, I'm not really turned off by it exactly. But I know a lot of people were saying that the combat's too slow and that there's stuff like meditating. But I mean, honestly, I don't know how they would like go around to fixing that. I mean, if even that is a problem. I mean, I saw the newest stream with the monk. I enjoyed the animations.
Yeah.
And the speed seemed fine. It seems like it's just getting better, but it will be just a slow-paced game in general, and people just.
Yeah, it has to. It has to be a slow-paced game. I think it doesn't. As long as it's not a slow-paced game that just has really boring combat. I think that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, with the monk class, they already had like chain abilities. You know,
right.
You use ability and then it activates another ability that you can use, or you have different options. And keeping combat interesting like that, are just each class has its own intricacies within how it plays. We'll make it a lot fresh.
Exactly, yeah. And I think another big part is animations, which they're working on. As long as the animations are there, you know. Like I was really happy with the monk. I'm going to be playing a monk. That's going to be my main. And I thought it was going to be really dull and boring, kind of like when I first tried EverQuest.
Yeah.
You know, when I played a monk, it was just like punch, kick, punch. Like, you know, it's definitely not like that with Pantheon. It's a little bit more of a faster tempo.
Yeah.
But it's still, I wouldn't say it's like WoW level.
No.
So,
to me, WoW was pretty slow in when it came out. I think it was pretty slow. It's definitely a lot faster now.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot faster now.
Yeah, they upped the tempo for sure.
Right. The newest thing that they showed off, Visionary Realms showed off, was kind of the overhaul to their lighting system.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a 30-minute stream on that, showcasing that. And wow, that looks amazing. And that was done in what, 2 months, 3 months?
Something like that, yeah.
And they did all that work to make it look that good. And that's still like the beginning stages of it.
Yeah. I mean, this looks like a game that's meant to be played in 2017.
Yeah.
Or 18, you know?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were complaining earlier about the graphics, like, oh, this looks like it was made in like 2002. But, you know, that's just something everyone has to realize, and I'm sure everyone does, is that they're an indie developer. So, I mean, they will get there eventually. It just takes time.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. But I think the graphics, they look great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty immersive with all the really cool shading and the lighting effects that they have going on.
Yeah. Would you say there's any concerns right now?
I think my concern is that it might not gain enough traction. I mean, they did fail their first 3 Kickstarters, or 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know how they really marketed it originally.
Mm-hmm.
I know I first saw the original Kickstarter. That's what got me, looking into the game. But I know they just, marketed it as a old school MMO for a new age, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't catch on, really. But I think there might have been other games at the time that were running Kickstarters that are similar. Like, I know
Camelot Unchained.
Yeah, Camelot Unchained. That was that probably hindered it a little bit. So.
For sure. I mean, and right now is the best time to have a game like this.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are just clawing for something, for an MMO that has more challenge, more social aspects, which is what an MMO is. I mean,
yeah,
that's exactly what an MMO is. It's a huge world that a bunch of people join in and they all group up and talk to each other.
Yeah.
And every single MMO now is nothing like that.
Right, exactly. I'm just trying to think more concerns that I would have. I know one, like the length of time it takes to actually make it, that could, like, if they keep pushing it back, that could make some people just kind of jump off like, oh, and we're not seeing enough, or they're not revealing enough.
Yeah. Also, this game, it's going into pre-alpha this holiday season.
Yeah,
coming up.
that's what they
So
announced, yeah.
almost like a month and a half or so. People will be playing this in pre-alpha. But also, if we use that as kind of a metric or a gauge, we can assume or have an educated guess that the game's going to come out in late 2018.
I would say at the earliest.
You'd say at the earliest?
Yeah, I'd say I'm thinking of spring 2019. I would see that as more plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they gain more traction as the months go by.
And hire more people to work on it?
That, and as long as testing goes well, then maybe we can get a 2018 release.
Yeah. I mean, really, we haven't seen that much content in the streams.
No, I mean, they've been pretty tight-lipped so far.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, they show us just these very specific areas. And
I mean, we know they're definitely hard at work.
Yeah.
We've been seeing it, the progress they've been making. Little strides at a time, but it's definitely there.
Well, I was saying that Classic WoW is coming out. That's going to be coming out, and I think that's going to be the biggest competitor with this game. I mean, I think Classic
maybe.
WoW is probably going to get released before Pantheon, or right around either 4 months before Pantheon, or pretty close to it. And I think a lot of people might not want to jump ship, because I think a lot of the people that are looking into Pantheon are vanilla WoW players.
Really?
I think a majority of just people that would give Pantheon a try would be vanilla WoW players, or people that played WoW in the old days and they don't really like it now, and they're like, oh, I really want a challenge. They understand what the problems are in current MMOs, and Pantheon is saying, hey, we're throwing it way back, and bringing the MMO genre to life.
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming that Classic WoW comes out around the same time.
Yeah,
it could be sooner. I mean, I'd say Blizzard would probably be releasing that next year, 2018.
I think they'll be doing it in 2018. They'll release it after their whatever expansion they have coming out. I don't even pay attention to that stuff.
From what I've been hearing online, I mean, their numbers, their subscriptions have been dropping significantly.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a way probably to bring back those older players. Another factor that kind of goes into it also is whether or not, like, how Blizzard is going to charge for the game, and how Visionary Realms is going to charge.
Yeah, Blizzard could totally fuck it up.
Yeah, they could. They could say, well, you need, every single expansion. You need, maybe a certain leveled character or something stupid.
Yeah, you never know what they do. They could throw a cash shop into Classic WoW and piss everyone off, and then that would help out Pantheon. So, actually, hopefully they do something like that.
And then it depends on what VR is doing. I don't think they've decided, anything concrete on subscriptions or anything like that.
No, they haven't. I think they'll just do the generic $15 a month.
Yeah, I could see that.
I hope they do. I really hope they do that system. I do not like, for an MMO, I don't like any other system, honestly. Because if they don't do that system, that means that they have a cash shop in the game.
Yeah, and it also means not as much maintenance, because they're not getting the funds for it.
Yeah, they're not getting like a steady stream of revenue.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if they did have a cash shop in, that means they already have X amount of people dedicated to making content that is completely gated behind a paywall that you have to access with your wallet, which I really don't like. So I highly, highly doubt they'll do a cash shop, but you never know. I definitely don't think they will.
I could definitely, I think they will do the subscription, especially with the 10, level 10 trial.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Do you think the game will be too grindy?
Well, yes. in certain ways. I mean, they did say the primary way to level in the game will be grinding.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'm expecting that to be part of the game. Now, is that something that I don't like? No. I mean, it's okay as long as there's a whole world to explore and all kinds of other stuff to do other than just grind.
Yeah.
You know, if it was just grinding, if that was just the whole game, that'd be a huge turnoff, obviously. But
yeah, you know, I like grinding as long as there's a way for me to get like an item or something. If I know that this mob drops this item that I really, really want, then that's a lot more incentive for me to just camp out and grind these certain mobs and, you know, maybe eventually get the item.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like playing the lottery.
Right. So whether or not it be grindy, excuse me. I mean, yeah, and just the simple answer is yeah. That's why I think, at least.
Oh yeah, we know it will be.
Yeah.
I wonder if people are prepared for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at all the other MMOs. Every MMO has grinding in some form or another. I mean, it's just really part of the genre.
Right.
You know, a lot of game developers try to alleviate it by just mixing it up, you know, like dynamic events where everything's like changing all the time.
Right. I mean, yeah, in a role playing game, you're always grinding something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in Pantheon, what you're gonna be grinding is just mobs.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, these dungeons are gonna be so big. They're talking about how these dungeons are just gonna be massive. That there's gonna be multiple groups in these dungeons.
Yeah.
And like you're gonna log out and then log back in and be in the dungeon with your group because y'all, you know, needed to go to bed and wake up and you come back on at the same time and just start keeping exploring.
Mm-hmm.
So that there will definitely be a lot of grind, but I'm welcoming it. I like it. I think it will be really cool.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be relaxing.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It really is almost therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
You know, and the combat isn't going to be anything too intense, and what I mean by that is it's not like it's tab target system. Right. So you don't need to constantly be focusing, and then it kind of drains you over time. So
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But the grind will get really boring if combat in this game is one of those games where you can just watch television while you're playing or start attacking a creature and then minimize the game, then it's going to be really, really boring.
Yeah. And Visionary Realms stated that they want to make combat really tactical, so you do have to pay attention.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have faith in it, but yeah, I hope it doesn't turn into that either. You know, maybe in early levels it'll be kind of like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely, especially when you don't have many skills unlocked and stuff. Man, but yeah, in the early levels you won't have many skills unlocked, and then also with the grinding is, like I was saying, like going after that loot and stuff. How do you think gear will be in this game, or what does gear mean to you? Is gear something that you should have equipped for a while, or and it'd be really hard to get and it's hard to upgrade, or is it something that you know you just kind of go through?
I would say I'd want to add like a moderate level. I don't want to get new gear every level, but I don't want to wait 10, 15 levels either to get more gear.
Yeah, neither do I.
So I think it should be moderated. And I don't know. I don't really have like there shouldn't be like a certain level, like every other level or every third level you get new gear. It's just you know, it just depends on the mobs.
Yeah, keep it natural. Keep it natural.
Yeah, organic. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, nobody wants to. I don't think anybody wants to go through upgrading your gear every single level. You're finding, you know, 10 new pieces of gear or whatever, and nobody wants to sit on their gear for 10 levels and then get bored of it.
Right, and then or like it ends up you suck, or you know you can't do any damage, or you can't.
Yeah, you don't scale.
Right,
well.
exactly. Yeah, so the scaling has to be, like I said, moderate.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think of like a transmog system?
Transmog system.
Being able to skin your weapons with different. different models?
I like it, but I can understand why other people wouldn't like it. I know obviously that's what World of Warcraft did, right?
Yeah, they have that.
It made it so you can customize your character more. You can make them look and feel like your own, because I mean, you think about World of Warcraft, there's so many models for all the armor, all the weapons, so they basically made it so you can just mix and match to make your guy look like whatever.
Yeah.
Now, in this kind of game, do I think they should have that? No. And it's mainly because I feel like the gear that you get should kind of say something about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it should identify you. I mean,
yeah.
I hate the transmog system. I think it's terrible. Even in current WoW, even though it makes sense in current WoW, I still hate it because you put in hard work to get your gear. That's your reward.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone sees you, they should be able to recognize exactly what you're wearing. And if you're wearing badass gear, they can say, "Wow, that guy has that. He put in all that work for that." And it just makes it just adds so much more to all the social dynamics. And this game is always going back to that. So I really hope they don't do a transmog system. I know they're gonna have like a costume system, like an adventuring gear tab where you can equip stuff and change your looks, which I don't like personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what is it gonna be, a cash shop or not a cash shop? Like cosmetic gear.
Yeah, it's just cosmetic gear. They were talking about that. I just like it to be totally organic. You equip your armor and then that's what you look like because that's what you're wearing and that's what makes the most sense.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just...
Well, to be fair with WoW, it's not really a challenge anymore.
It isn't. But I don't know. It almost kind of scares me that they're throwing in the adventuring gear because that says that they might be trying to appeal to a casual audience in a way. I mean, if they're willing to do something like that, are they willing to do something else down the road that we don't know about?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I'm always skeptical. I definitely have a lot of faith in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will turn out really well. Regardless, it's really not a big deal, but we'll see how it goes. That's just kind of it raises my eyebrow a little bit. I'm like,
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it'd be okay if it was for like basic gear. If you could like mask basic gear. But but if it's like a legendary item or something, then that you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or have just a costume set up, so where you can equip something, but you don't have any of the stats from your other items.
Yeah.
It's just a costume. It doesn't do anything other than just looks.
Yeah, it takes away all your other. Yeah, I could see that, but then it's just like, why not just equip a costume in your main character sheet?
Because you want to get any bonuses. It doesn't give you anything.
Right. Oh, you're saying it would give you bonuses?
No, it wouldn't.
An adventuring tab?
Huh?
For the adventure gear in the tab?
No, I'm just saying costumes.
Yeah.
It would just be a costume, so it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't mask any of your weapons or armor.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, I wouldn't mind costumes at all or anything like that. But my whole point was that I just like, if you're wearing whatever you're wearing, I just like it to be known what you're wearing. I like you see someone and you can judge exactly what they are, what class they are, all that stuff off that. Not you just see somebody, you see a mage and he's wearing plate armor because he has it as a costume or something, and it's just I don't know. I feel like it doesn't belong. I feel like it's almost inorganic and stuff. But we'll see how it turns out. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, I think that wraps it up for me, unless there's anything that you want to add.
Nope, not that I can think of.
All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for listening. This is the Fantasy Forge cast logging out, and we'll see you next time.